Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the shit show. Another week, another cup of tea. So never thought I'd be doing this on my podcast. There's a movie that came out this past weekend. I never thought I'd be talking about a movie on this podcast, especially if it's a movie I'm not in or had anything to do with. But it's very relevant, not only to me, but to this brand and to those who feel like they relate to this brand in any way. This movie is for you, man. So over the weekend, this movie came out on Netflix called You People. Um, I'm not going to necessarily talk about the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything about the movie in case you want to watch it and haven't watched it yet. Um, but there's bits and pieces I want to take from this. And the main reason why I'm making this podcast about this movie is because we saw it. I believe my wife and I watched it on Friday when it came out, either Friday or Saturday. We watched it like as soon as it came out. Since then, it's been out for like 4 or 5 days now. Not even. It's been out for a few days, and I have gotten so many texts from people asking me if I've seen it because the main character, Jonah Hill, the main character in the movie, reminds so many people of me, which I love. I love when people are having a night watching a movie with their partner, with their friends, by themselves, and they're watching a movie, right? And something happens or a whole movie, I'm in their head. They're watching this and they're like, oh my God, that's fucking Matt. And whether it's a positive thing or a negative thing, I love that something like this happens in a movie, TV show, and somebody's like, oh my God, that's Matt. So, biggest thing is you don't even have to watch the full movie to get what I'm saying. The first 15 minutes of the movie, the first 10 minutes of the movie, honestly, there's an opening scene where Jonah Hill is in synagogue for one of the high holidays, with his family. And he's dressed somewhat nice. He's got like a button-down shirt, a tie, his sleeves are rolled up, he's got tattoos everywhere. He's rocking some Jordans on his feet. And his family just starts giving him shit about how he looks, and his mom makes a comment about his tattoos, and his grandmother makes a comment about how he won't be buried in a Jewish cemetery. And his response is, about the cemetery is, I'll be dead, I don't give a fuck. You can cremate me and take my ashes and flush them down a urinal, something like that. So just that beginning scene, so many people hit me up. It was like, oh my fucking God, that's you. And it's funny, as my wife and I were watching it the first time, she over here just starts cracking up, dying of laughter. She's like, oh my God, I was trying to be nice. I was trying not to say anything, but that's fucking you. So the funniest part is the following day. So if we watched it on Friday, my mom came over. She usually comes sees us on the weekends. My mom comes over on Saturday, and we're talking, we're doing whatever. I'm like, oh my God, Mom, I gotta show you something. So I turn on the movie. I'm like, I'm not saying you gotta stay here and watch the whole movie, but you gotta watch this opening scene. So I turn on the movie, and of course, it's the first 10 minutes of the movie is that opening synagogue scene. And it starts playing. My mom is cracking up. She's like, oh my God, that is you. So why am I talking about it? So that opening scene, and honestly throughout the whole movie, it just relates to that black sheep thing, man. Like whether it's something that whoever you are and whoever you have an interest in. So a big part of the movie is he starts dating a woman. He starts dating a black woman, and they're like Muslim or something. So it's like the Muslim family and the Jewish family, and they just. I don't want to spoil anything, but like obviously the whole movie is the two sides kind of butting heads and getting in the way of the two kids who are like in love with each other. God, and I mean, I've talked about that as well. I've talked about when I've dated people outside of my religion or I've dated people outside of my race. There was one time I dated somebody outside of my race, and anytime we would go, like, I would bring her to a family event, it was like they would just be staring. There was one family event I went to where somebody was hugging everybody, like my siblings, my cousins, and they walked right past me because I had this woman who was a different race. I mean, Jesus Christ. And then just even dating people out of your religion, it's like, if you're not with somebody that, your family, wants you to date, like, oh man, they're not our race, they're not our religion, and then they look down on you, they look down on your partner without even really getting to know either of you, honestly. So that was a big part of the movie where I'm like, Jesus Christ, I swear to God, this movie was written about my life. I made a comment to my wife. I'm like, I'm sure they paid Jonah Hill like millions of dollars to be in this movie. They could have paid me way less, and I wouldn't have even had to have acted. I could have just acted myself. Such a great movie, man. Such a funny movie, but it's wild. Just I've had so many people text me, friends. I had a coworker text me. Just so many people like, holy shit, man, that is you. So to anybody who watches these podcasts, anybody who supports my brand, feels like they relate to the brand, feels like they are the black sheep of their family, watch this movie, dude. Watch this movie, man. I mean, shit. The synagogue, you know how many times I got pulled to synagogue when I was younger? I was like forced to have a bar mitzvah, and then to this day everybody's like, oh no, you had a choice to have a bar mitzvah. Bro, no I didn't. But like, you know, they're always like, oh, you gotta make sure you cover your tattoos up. The funniest part is that later on in my life I stopped going to synagogue, but I was working security not that long ago, and a lot of my sites that I would work security at were synagogues. Some of them being the synagogues my family belongs to and I used to get forced to go to. And it's funny, like I'd be in my security uniform, I'd have my sleeves rolled up, like this is who I am, man. I mean, look, I'm not here to bash anybody's religion, but like if your religion makes you look down on people with tattoos, I mean, what a fucking joke. Again, I think religions are such a fucking cult, such a fucking joke. I'm not bashing you. If you're religious, if you believe in any of that stuff, fine, as long as you're not hurting other people, as long as you're not being a shitty person because of it, you know, fine, whatever. I mean, it's just this movie, dude. Go see this movie. If you want to know anything more about me and my upbringing and how people have treated me, whether it's because I don't fit their religious point of view or their relationship point of view, like who I should date and whatnot, this movie is just spot fucking on, dude. And let's talk about the whole like dating out of this. Kind of goes away from the movie a little bit. Let's talk about the whole dating outside of your race. I hate when people are like, oh, I'm not racist, I just don't want my kids to date a black person. But I'm not racist. How does that not make you racist? Everybody's like, oh, well, it's just, you know, the way I was brought up. It's just the way I was raised. It's, you know, this, that. If you don't want your kid dating somebody who isn't white, you are racist. It's that simple. You can say you're not racist. You can say, oh, well, I have black friends. I know black people. Fantastic, dude. But if you are so against your kids or anybody dating outside of their race, you're racist. It's as simple as that. I don't care how you were brought up. I don't care how you were raised. It's fucking 2023, man. Like, it's totally fine to date outside of your race, outside of your religion, outside of whatever the fuck it is. It's okay to date people of the same gender, of the same sex, whatever the fuck it is. It's fine. So to those people who are like, oh yeah, no, I'm not racist. I have black friends. I just don't want my kids dating. You're racist. You're a shitty person. You should go fucking die. Sorry. But anyway, this might be a short podcast, man, but moral of the story, dude, this movie, you people, go check it out. I'm not one to like try to fucking promote anything. I'm obviously not getting paid by these people to promote it, but I swear it was like looking in a fucking mirror. Watching this movie was like looking in a fucking mirror. And I loved it. I truly loved it because seeing it from the outside in, seeing how the main character was treated because of who he is and because of who he loved, seeing how he was treated, looking at that from the outside in, even though it was a movie, but like obviously all of that is realistic. Looking at it from the outside in, it's comical. It's fucking... My wife and I were laughing our fucking asses off because of how ridiculous it is. Because of how ridiculous this guy's family treated him because of his tattoos, or because he wasn't as religious as they wanted him to be, or because he was dating somebody outside of his race. It's fucking comical watching it. I used to think I was fucking crazy for the way I was treated for some of these things, man, but like, I mean, shit, after years of therapy, after years of growing, after years of maturing, after years of loving who I am, and then watching this movie, oh my god. Whew. Anyway, look, it's a short podcast, but moral of the story, man, go watch this movie. It's called You People. on Netflix. It's got Jonah Hill, Eddie Murphy. It's got, I don't know her name, the chick who was dating or engaged to Nipsey Hussle. It's got the main chick from Seinfeld, I think. It's got an awesome cast, awesome movie, funny fucking movie. If you watch it and it reminds you of me at all, please let me know, because I love the fact that people are like, "Oh my god, I was watching this movie and this just fucking reminded." I love that. Anyway, as always, stay beautiful. Don't be a dick. Don't judge people. Peace out, Girl Scouts.